Hello, all. Welcome to the Habitat Studio, where creativity and inspiration come together. Whether you're an artist, designer, or DIY enthusiast, this is the place where your ideas can grow and take shape. Join us as we explore creative concepts and ideas for landscaping and architectural spaces. In this video, we'll see how open spaces around house can be creatively conceptualized with landscape ideas. This is a basic floor plan of a house situated in Goa. This was an architectural project of the fourth semester housing studio. And as we can see, the north is upwards. And then we enter through the vestibule and we continue to move towards the living room, towards the northern side, which has a greater opening for the good north light. And then with a nice partition wall, we have a dining room and the kitchen, the staircases, and the other services are given to the southern end so that which has less opening, which can cut down the harsh sunlight. Most of the active spaces are situated in such a way that the northern light is captured to our living spaces so that our architectural spaces have good light and ventilation. So this was our basic understanding of how architecture is working. Now let's see how the open spaces around this architecture's the residence can be idealized or conceptualized. So we are entering from the southern side to the site, and we have a nice open space here before the porch, before the vestibule. So we have towards the east, we have an open space which can be conceptualized as a water cascading feature. We can add a nice water cascading feature over here. It's like basically a water body uh, which will be cascading throughout. So we're just conceptual drawing we are making now. So it's a water cascading which will be having a recurring water falling sound, which while you're entering the house, it will enhance your experience. And then your space adjacent to that can have nice stepping stones to walk further to your open spaces. So remember, we're just conceptualizing our landscape designing now. So every designing takes place with a nice concept first. So we focus on conceptualization in this video, and in further videos, we will see how realistically we can render these plans. So in this architectural plan, we have a corner here. Let's see how we can utilize that corner. So we can add a nice deck over here with 450 seating, and this becomes a tree pit, and where we can add a nice ornamental tree, maybe cassia fistula or plumeria alba. Any ornamental tree can go there. So when you're entering your space, so from that small window, the plumeria alba is seen. So it adds on to your visual experience when you're entering to your house. So that corner is utilized with a nice ornamental tree. And then we have a swimming pool here, which we can extend the deck till the boundary wall. So we can use that entire space as a deck, and we can have a nice palms, palm species of trees or any tropical varieties of Shrubs, medium shrubs can happen here, which can also act as a buffer from the neighboring property. And this whole space can be used as a deck for you or the outdoor parties, pool parties, and many interesting events that you can host to your home at your home. And here we can buffer it out with some nice tall branch trees. Maybe we can go for fragrant varieties since it is located in the eastern side. Nice trees like tabubia and then other variants we can plant here, which will act as a buffer to your swimming pool. And this space can be converted into a nice yoga deck with dedicated yoga spaces where you can change the materials and you can play with the materials where we can uh, give the different material there which functionalizes that area as a yoga deck or a yoga space. This whole space can be converted as lawn, an open lawn where it is flexible for any kind of activity. So it gives us a flexibility for the user to make use of that space anyhow and any with any functionality he can give it or an extension to the swimming pool activity as the user pleases. So while doing this, we have another buffer space that we have gotten here from this wall where again which can be given with some nice uh, tropical plantations which goes with the swimming pool design, some nice heliconia and bird of paradise. So that kind of a planting can happen, which again creates a buffer for this space to your uh, swimming pool area. So also creates privacy. So we have a huge open space here. Uh, this area towards the western side of your site. So how can we conceptualize? So let's bring some contrast in our landscaping. So everything is geometrical. So to bring some contrast in the landscaping, we can add some ornamental mounds, which we can represent it with green and some contours. These ornamental ground mounds create dramatic levels over your open space, which kids can play around, jump around and use it as a nice modulated space. It cut downs the monotonous of the open space in terms of its level. So it brings a drama in the levels of the open space. So in order to again add some elements, add some character to it, we can add the shading trees like Terminalia catapa or some again Tabubia variants or any flower bearing trees which will again add the shade to the space and also brings enhances your space with nice colorful trees which can be seasonally variant or anything of that sort. So we can also add some balance the softscape with some hardscape that can go along like a pebble bed that can happen along the edge of our building property, building line. So The rainfall, whenever it rains, the water from the roof can come and collect in this pebble bed and also can act as a water recharge pit for your garden. So you can use this pebble bed for that. So bed are always mechanisms for rainwater harvesting. So we can opt there in the north western direction of our building line. So we are left with again the corner there, which again we can utilize it as an extension, uh, add a katta or a deck where again you can go for a nice uh, plumeria tree or any ornamental tree like cassia fistula or any ornamental tree like bottle brush tree or any other tree which helps from the bedroom can create a nice visual effect. So when you're using your bedroom, so it gives a nice visual effect. And then, of course, your the wind flow will be rejuvenated with these green plants and these green trees. And then we can again reflect, these characteristics again in this corner. We can add a nice deck and then followed by a big tree since it is in a southern corner, south western corner. So we can opt for a tall branched tree over here, which will allow uh, the wind flow, but at the same time shades the space because southern part it's mostly subjected to harsh sunlight, is exposed to harsh sunlight, but we do not want to restrict the wind flow. So we can opt for a tall branched tree. I'm gonna do a conceptual sketch here. So if it is a tall branched tree, so imagine if this is a ground. So if it is a tall branched tree, it gives the shades to your space, but at the same time it allows the wind to flow. So that is the advantage of opting for a high branched or a long, tall branch tree. So we can go for that in the southern corner of our site, and we can again reflect the same characteristics of our tropical planting that can happen over here, which again acts as a buffer from our neighboring site. So we can do layering of planting, which creates again a landscape drama, which I'll be explaining it in the next video while I'm doing a realistic render for the same. So we have a kitchen in our southern side of our property. So what we can do, what kind of landscape can be given which connects our kitchen space. So we can give nice decks and with intermediate herb gardens where the herbs can be used for the kitchen, like the herbs like curry leaves, trees can be given here, and some mint and any homegrown uh, spices or homegrown herbs can be planted here with some nice decks in between where uh, women of the house or anyone from the house can enjoy their evening time while gardening the herb. And then one more interesting element that I usually tend to add in almost all of my designs. So we have the entrance here, and then we have a space right next to it. So in our most of the Indian households, we tend to have a nice tulsi katta right in front of our main door. So we can add this tulsi katta, which makes our whole landscape, gives a cultural character to it. We can integrate that with our the landscaping that is happening here. So we can have a nice tulsi and then a deck that is happening right next to it where uh, the puja can happen, and any associated ritualistic activities can be carried out with an integrated landscape space that happens exactly right in front of your uh, main door, which usually every Indian household happens. So this and this entire area can be a lawn. So if you must be wondering what must be happening here, so this entire can be an open lawn with Mexican grass or any type of grass that can go for the lawn, low maintenance, good for the user. So this is a basic concept of how you can integrate the creative landscape for your open spaces around the the architectural space, and how they correspond to your architectural spaces, to your indoors. Uh, so, so in our next video, we'll learn how we can realistically render, or how we can realistically reflect this concepts, these landscape context, concepts and ideas for a better visualization. We'll see that in our next video. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and become a part of the Habitat Studio family. Let's build something amazing together. Thank you.